Hi, I'm Dave Wurzel, and you're watching PHTV4. This is Meet the Merchant, and today Meet the Merchant is talking with owner Andreas from Nook Coworking Space. Andreas, thank you for coming in this morning. Your office is located on 127th Street in Palos Heights, just east
correct.
of Harlem, right?
Right there.
Thank you for coming in. I want to talk about this Nook Coworking Space. This is an interesting concept, and I understand the need for this. Also, I was at your website. I know you've got multiple locations. I want to talk about that. Can you explain what Nook Coworking Space is first?
Absolutely. So Nook Coworking Space are micro coworking spaces that we have pretty much started doing over the past 4 or 5 years at the plazas that we own throughout the southwest suburbs. We have various locations, but they're micro coworking spaces that essentially cater to various professionals, and we have various options there of offering office spaces, offering co-working memberships for people to obviously utilize our private rooms and get work done, meet with clients. And then we also have an option of virtual memberships as well for people to utilize as memberships. But Nook Co-working Space is pretty much a micro co-working space that offers all of these amenities to professionals so they can better serve their business and utilize meeting clients.
A variety of businesses.
Absolutely.
And you said, how long have you been in this business? And I actually want to ask you, how long have you been in it? How did you get started in it?
Absolutely. So probably about 8 years I started getting involved in commercial real estate because my family has many commercial plazas throughout the southwest suburbs. So I started getting involved in property management and commercial real estate first through there, and then afterwards, as time passed by, about 5 years ago, we started developing these micro co-working spaces at our plazas with our team of subcontractors, architects, IT, and all-in-one team that we pretty much started building out these spaces, and just saw that we had a certain people that were coming to our plazas that just wanted these small private offices, and pretty much our goal was to offer these amenities and offer this space to people in the suburbs to almost give them a little more flexibility with their business.
Okay, so as you were saying that was a question in my mind, like, did you create the business and pursue the customers, or you recognize in the process of doing a commercial real estate business, there's a need for people to have this space, and they were looking to you for
Absolutely.
This kind of office
Absolutely,
space.
yeah. It was definitely a little bit of both. I think that at the time too, the co-working space in the city, there were plenty of co-working space in the city, but in the suburbs in particular, again, there was a growing demand that we saw of people that were looking for smaller offices. Now, again, people have, smaller offices I think have been on for a long time beyond just the past 5 years, subletting offices and whatnot, but for us it was just more or less of having that team at hand of, again, contractors, our IT team, and we pretty much our goal was to, do something that we didn't really see was done a lot in the suburbs, and make a space that had all of these amenities, our Nook co-working space app, like pretty much make a really seamless, experience for anyone that was coming there.
So if you can give us an example, like let's say I'm somebody who's at home, either I'm starting a business or maybe I've been working out of my home, and I'm like, no, I need another space, or I need a different type of space to do this business, right?
Yeah.
What does that look like in terms of, like, who contacts you, and then how does the process go for them to get
Absolutely,
started?
yeah. So we get contacted by a variety of people. Sometimes it's just as straightforward as an attorney or an accountant that wants a private office. And they just need a private office to essentially get work done, whether it's meet with clients and just have that private office to store whatever they need for their business, And then sometimes we'll get contacted from other people that are still accountants and attorneys, but they're not necessarily needing a private office. They just need a space when they're in the suburbs to, meet with clients and just utilize our workrooms. They would go towards, so we'll always ask them what they're looking for, and then once from there they tell us what their needs are. We'll narrow it down and say what membership option is best for them. Maybe they just want a mailing address, whatever the case may be, but the whole idea is that we'll cater towards what they're looking for, and then utilizing an app that we've done with our IT team, the Nook Co-working Space app. It's an all-in-one that we're trying to make this as efficient as possible. Then once we narrow it down to the membership they want, we have various locations to give them that, as well, and just offer a little bit of a better experience for them.
All right, so that's a good transition, because that's my next question. I want to talk about, you have other locations. I'm assuming that if the person, for whatever reason, they need to be in Palos Heights, maybe you can talk about you have 4 locations. I think
Yes.
Do they all function kind of the same, or like, no, this would be a better office space in Palos Heights for this person, or Oak Lawn would be better in this
Absolutely,
situation?
yeah. So they all do function the same way, and I think that the big thing is the location. Obviously, for certain people, just they want to be closer to their house. They just want to be closer. Some people want to be close to where their client base is. So
Sure.
there's going to be those two options, but in general, that's the big difference in terms of the locations. They all function the same way. You could obviously, again, from the functionality of the spaces, you're able to book locations, rooms, and various spaces using our app if you needed to. And that's just, yeah, the whole idea is that we have 4 locations, and we're just doing that in such a way that it creates more flexibility for people that want to go to those locations nearer to their house or their clients, but also if they want to just go to other locations as well, they're able to.
It sounds like it needs to be flexible to accommodate. And that was going to be my other question. You mentioned lawyers and accountants. Is that typical what the business is? I mean, there's a full range here of types of businesses.
Absolutely. We've catered towards, again, attorneys, accountants, pretty much web developers, therapists. Like, we've really gone through the whole list, and the whole idea is what we emphasize. Because, like I said, we do own these plazas, and we are, we've built out these 4 locations that if for whatever reason you have a client that maybe is closer to a certain area versus your office is in Oak Lawn, but you have someone that's out in New Lenox, you could always go to New Lenox and maybe meet them, at that particular conference room, just to make it a little bit easier for that client and also allow yourself just a little bit more options in terms of that.
It sounds like a great way to offer your service.
Absolutely,
again, in a variety of locations, depending on your client base, maybe where you live as well, like you said. I guess related to that then, so you mentioned different types of clients. If somebody wants to, I can almost imagine a person saying, yeah, I need some space, or I want to do some business in this area.
Absolutely.
I've checked the website. It's a very good website, very informative. What would the process look like? What does a person do? Are they calling you? Or
if they pretty
email
much, they'll reach us out, whether it's to our website, nookcoworkspace.com, or they find us on, Google, or whatever the case is, whether it's word of mouth, they'll reach out to us. And once they do give us a call, we pretty much, again, go through a filtering process of just figuring out, what is it that they're looking for. And then from there, they might say, hey, I want a private office, or I want to utilize just your private rooms occasionally so I can meet with clients, or I just want a mailing address, whatever the case is. Once we narrow it down from there, then we obviously just kind of tell them the options that we have, pricing, things like that, and then we just, if they are obviously interested, we'll set up a tour for them so they can come in and see the space. Just kind of a standard protocol process to make them come in, feel, see the space, make sure they're comfortable with it, and give them the tour in particular to what they're looking for. And then if it is something that they in fact are, happy with and they want to move forward, then we pretty much just set up the next steps of just, again, getting them situated with our app, getting them familiar with the spaces, and just making the process as seamless as possible for them, so they just don't really have to think too much. And even if they want to start the next day, they have something to really just go in and do.
I'm imagining it sounds like it would be rewarding, but I'm going to let you answer it, to be able to help people in this way, help them run their business either better, more efficiently, or help them fulfill something they want to do for themselves professionally. What do you like best about owning and managing this business?
Yeah, so I think as the years developed, I did develop kind of an appreciation with commercial real estate, and it did become more exciting just overall dealing with it, but in particular with the co-working spaces, it is something that is satisfying, and it's enjoyable to see when, there's a lot of people that we've had for almost 5 years at our spaces, and as we've grown, it's good to see their businesses grow as well. So the whole idea is that, that is something that is very, great to see. Just seeing, all these businesses that, again, they're obviously happy at our spaces, but seeing them grow, and just also, on our end, it just shows that, you've built a little community there of various businesses, and they're able to just be self-sufficient now. And so that has been, again, a very great thing to see in terms of, and so when you do see that every single day, it does, I think, provide a little bit of an extra motivation to when it comes to managing these spaces.
I would imagine, and obviously you're doing well if you've got multiple locations. Maybe that's the final question I want to take a look at. So you've got the 4. It sounds like the business is doing well. You're definitely reaching an audience. There's a need for this.
Absolutely, yeah.
How about future plans for your business? I mean, what does it look like?
So future plans right now, what we're looking at doing is we're definitely going to be expanding to more locations. Like I said, we have other plazas in the southwest suburbs. And even beyond the plazas that we own, there are some other plazas that we've been looking at possibly partnering with some other landlords in terms of opening up more locations. So keeping the same template, but just expanding these locations. And then, like I said, along with those plans, as I mentioned earlier, we do have a team of, it's not just me, we have a team of our architects, our subcontractors, our IT team. So we're beyond just a co-working space. We also do, and it's something that I always note out to people, that we can also consult with landlords who are looking to possibly do this sort of space. We have the Nook co-working space app, which we could obviously help implement that in a certain location at a plaza. We're very flexible, whether it's us just building out a space sometimes and giving someone our app if they want to. So it's like a little hybrid beyond just us having our co-working spaces. We also are open to just, if some landlords are out there that are interested, we could certainly work with them and just, again, we can manage the spaces for them. We could give them our app that they could use, give them a little template and set up the space. So that's like a second part of what we also do as well, because we have such a big team and we're equipped to do that kind of stuff.
I was just, you're way beyond, here's a square room and a desk and a phone. No,
Absolutely.
You provide much bigger
Absolutely.
structure than that.
Absolutely, and I always emphasize that because obviously, it's one thing to sublease offices, but we do have, like I said, our app and just the way we've set up things in terms of the spaces and just the build outs. We actually do have architects, and we'll sit down and just figure out, what's the best way to allocate this particular space. But on top of it, we have to make it look aesthetically pleasing. And then more importantly, it's just about the functionality part, and that's where our IT team comes into place. So yeah, I just always like, the future plans are to get more locations, but also our goal is to, ideally just cater towards this working demographic in these suburbs and just make it as flexible as possible for them and hopefully help them out to expand their businesses.
Well, congratulations, because it sounds like you're doing a great job.
Thank you. Yeah.
Good luck with future expansions.
Thank you so much. Absolutely. Thank you for having me, obviously.
Andreas, thanks for coming in. We've been talking with Andreas, who is the owner of Nook Co-working Space, Meet the Merchant, and Palos Heights here with other locations around the southwest suburbs. So thank you and good luck.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
I'm Dave Wurzel. You've been watching PHTV4, Meet the Merchant. Thank you for watching.